we need, for example, to describe exports of data, some data creation, data input control, and so on. And all this we want to describe as the unified technology, and the XDefinitions are very suitable technology for such a task. Yes, on this picture I want to show you a different control points, examples of different points. If you have an offline client, a SIG client, you need to assemble the data from on the place of traffic accident, and you need some validation of this data. So we use XDefinition to validate the screens or the forms on the level of the assembly from the beginning of assembly of the data. Before you send the whole description of the traffic accident in XML file, you need to make some consistency check of this. For example, if the policeman has written everything in it, and so on. So before we send it to the center, there is in the SIG client also such a, they are running such a consistency test. On the web service tier, we make a validation of the XML contents of the web services. On the application tier, we need to make a consistency check of external code list codes against a database. And on the statistical tier, we need to make many different exports that are controlled through the XDefinitions. And what is the data orchestration project? No, it's for us a tool that enables us to share the communication between different roles. It means people that are working on the project, between the client and user and analyst, between the analyst and the architect, between the analyst and programmer. And is a tool that keeps the consistency of the data descriptions of the whole project, and that export the particular definitions in different control points of the system. So, and here is something that I need to comment in the in the mention about a cat and dog. We need to structure the XDefinitions into some layers. If you baked the cake, you must bake some level for the cat and some level for the dog. Otherwise, nobody will eat it. So we need to describe the data structure. It's the part where you describe how the XML is structured, what the data types are in attributes, in the elements, and on the and the other side is data processing layer, where you describe the scripts, where you describe the actions that are connected with events by the processing of the XML files. And at the end, I show two very small examples. One is the abstract model that describe only the structure and syntax of the XDefinitions, and I think it's not so important now. The XDefinition, they describe the code list checkings. It's referring to the abstract definition. All what is written in abstract definition is valid also for these XDefinitions, and we add some behavior. It's when you have some code, it's a code district, you must check it against the code list in database, or the code sex, code driver license, and so on. Thank you very much. The questions. No. Ask him.
Are there any questions?
Nobody. No questions.
Do you mean that maybe it's good also to repeat the question for the others? You mean that whether you are asking whether XDefinitions are good starting point for code generation? What kind of code do you mean? Programming code. XDefinitions are implemented as the compiler. The XDefinition is compiling the code, let's say some Java class or something like that. And it's the program which is described in the XDefinition is the code itself. Of course, you can do it in many, many different ways. And it's not too complex if you reduce the script inside of the XDefinition only to invoking of some let's say, collection of internal methods, which can be very powerful, or to some external methods and XPath, maybe some other tools. But we need, of course, and it's absolutely crucial for the real usage, we need connection to the external code which we are usually writing in Java. Basically, it's possible in another one. And this code is providing complex checks in the database, etc. Is there some other question? It will be for you. I think I understand what you mean, but it's dilemma, it's philosophy, and
yeah. Well, your annotation of a prototypical instance,
yeah.
I think is an interesting model, and I found it interesting in my work with UVL. So for those who are interested in annotating result instances, I would also commend that.
Thank you for comment. Is there some other question? So we have our poster there. After.
I have one question. Is what kind of limitation are you referring to on XML schema? For first question.
I think that we are able to transfer
XML schema weakness.
Every XML schema to XDefinitions. Not almost. They are almost. Oh, I mean, on the other side is.
It's not a problem to fix few details in the way how they are XML scheme is working with inheritage of types and so on, but we are not exactly following the philosophy of inheritage. Yeah, so that's the difference. We are using parameters. We can say this string is limited this way and it's expressed by parameters. If you accept that any type, simple type, is described, you can describe by a method with parameters, then it's fully transformable. And in fact, the validation method is nothing else than the method which returns true or false. It's checking of the format, of course. Usually it's a very simple method.
And the last question is, you say that you want to refactor it. So is there a chance that you reuse some existing vocabularies like schemas or transformation?
We have transformation because we are working for our customers and they wanted, some of them, they wanted to have DTDs. We tried to make the tool which is transforming XDefinition to DTD, which is basically principally not possible. Not all XDefinitions are possible to translate to DTD. And we are almost all XDefinition we can translate to schemes. I think we are able to more precisely to describe the content, the structure than the schemes, I think.
Even the one-on-one?
Basically, if you don't use all features of, if you have some subset of XDefinitions, you can transform it to schemes.
Thank you.
We thank you.